and welcome back to yet another Saturday episode of Bobson Rants while playing Team Fortress 2 badly. So what is it I want to talk about this week while I am playing? I guess what I should talk about, well, not what I should talk about, what I kind of want to talk about is the Olympics. If you've been watching television, if you've been visiting any type of news websites, then you've probably seen and been inundated by news of the Olympics, all the stuff going on, and it's not surprising since the Olympics are one of those things that just comes around every 4 years and it just floods everything. Every bit of news sites, news channels, it's on television all the damn time, at least on the stations that run it, and you just can't get away from it. You can't get any kind of reprieve from it because it's just everywhere kind of thing. So, yeah, and it's not such a bad thing. I mean, the Olympics are a wonderful thing. Various nations coming together, putting aside their differences, and competing against each other. Not on a battlefield, but on a playing field. Or at least that's the idea of the Olympics. It's what it's supposed to be, where they just leave behind all the political bullshit and just kind of come together in the spirit of competition. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. In fact, it rarely ever happens. It always turns into some big political crap thing that just happens with different sides pushing one way or the other, such as the whole thing with Russia being more or less completely banned from the Olympics this year, or because of a doping scandal from, what was it, the Sochi Olympics in 2014. There was this huge scandal of Russian doping stuff, and a lot of their competitors were banned because of it from this year. So yeah, I don't know if they were all doing it. I don't know. I can't say for sure. I am not part of that, so I cannot say whether it's true or whether it's just political crap they're trying to push. I don't know. But yeah, the Olympics this year have been plagued by some major problems, and it's understandable. I mean, we knew there was going to be problems with this Olympic Games in Rio years ago. Like 1-2 years ago, there was already evidence that there was going to be problems with stuff like the fact that it wasn't even built up yet. The arenas, the housing systems, the buildings they were using weren't being completed on time. So yeah, we knew it was going to be a bit of a problem, especially with the water situation. It was obvious that there was going to be problems with the open rivers and the ocean being clogged with trash and literally human waste, literally crap filling the oceans and the waterways. And they said they were going to try and clean it up. They did their best, but you cannot clean up that much stuff in such a short period of time, and especially since people just keep dumping even more into it. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. And it was obvious that was going to be a problem. Though the green swimming pools was not fairly obvious that was going to be a problem. I mean, have you guys seen that? The actual images and videos of not the ocean, not the rivers, but the actual swimming pools that the divers and stuff were swimming in had turned green because of algae. I mean, how the hell does that even happen? I don't know. But yeah, they just have been reporting on this kind of stuff, reporting on all the problems for the past few months that were as it led up into the Olympics. And since the Olympics started, all these little problems have come to the forefront. Though not everything is bad. I mean, yes, the water situation is a little bad, but you haven't really seen any news stories pertaining to problems with the dry land kind of events, stuff like track and field, the marathons, and all that kind of stuff. That seems to be going off without too much of a hitch, or at the very least not enough for them to make a big deal about it on any of the news sites. So yeah, we knew a lot about what was going to be going wrong with it for some time now, but not nearly as much has gone wrong. Now, there is an issue with security, and again, we knew about that leading into the Olympics, especially with all the security forces, the police departments, who were actually at the airport protesting and picketing because they weren't getting paid, because they didn't have enough money in the budget to pay their own security guys to keep everyone safe. And this has led to some serious problems with people being robbed, or more recently with, who was it, the divers, the American divers who claimed they were robbed at gunpoint. And there's a problem, there's inconsistencies with their stories, and their passports have been seized. And I think they were actually stopped as they were trying to get on a plane because their stories didn't match up. And I don't know what's going on with that. In fact, as I'm recording it, they were just pulled off a plane because of it, so I don't know. But yeah, security is always an issue at these kind of things, huge events, international visitors coming in by the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people coming in and around. And security has always been a problem with the Olympic Games. I mean, just look at what happened, like, what was it, 96 Atlanta Games? Where there was a bombing and an attack, a terrorist attack, and yeah, that kind of thing happens. So keeping something, such a massive Olympic complex secure, keeping everyone safe is really a problem, and even more so when the police departments responsible for doing it are kind of on strike and picketing because they're not being paid enough money to do their job. They're not actually being paid to do their job, so yeah. And going back to the 96 Olympics, that was one of the last times I actually really paid attention to the Olympic Games. And I haven't really watched very much of the Olympics ever since then. I mean, I catch a bit of it every now and then, but it's always everywhere. It's just everywhere on the news. And I figured I'd talk about it this week just because. Now, one of the main problems with the Olympics has always been the fact that it just costs so much money. And I don't even know why I'm even talking about that. But yeah, the money it costs to build these kind of things is one of the main problems. I mean, that's one of the reasons they're having trouble getting the place completed for Rio. It's one of the reasons they were having so much trouble getting everything built, keeping everyone paid, like the security and the police departments, because it's just so expensive. Having to build the arenas, having to build the tracks, having to build everything, coupled with the fact that they had to spend so much money trying to clean up the waterways, it's just insane. I mean, billions of dollars spent to do this, and that's one of the reasons why I think that Atlanta actually wanted to try and get the Olympic Games again, but the Olympic Committee that was responsible for it would not allow them to use the pre-existing venues. They wouldn't allow them to use the pre-existing stadiums and stuff like that from the previous Atlanta Games. They would have to build entirely new ones simply because the Olympic Committee demanded it. So I think that was one of the reasons they dropped their bid to be an Olympic city again, which is funny. But yeah, that's just the kind of crap that happens, and it's all political with the Olympic Committee and stuff like that. But going back to the whole Russia thing being banned, it's for, what was it, doping, and what is doping? What is the doping scandal, actually? Were they taking steroids? Were they taking performance-enhancing drugs? What actually was it that was happening? I don't really know. Like I said, I haven't really been paying a lot of attention. I've just been scoping out the various news stories and stuff like that. I do not have the time to just sit down and watch dozens of hours of Olympic game footage on TV like I once did. So, yeah. But yeah, doping is probably one of the biggest problems with sports in general, not just the Olympics, with people taking enhancing drugs, with people like Lance Armstrong and the whole scandal of him in the Tour de France, where he was taking blood transfusions to increase his stamina during races. I mean, that was this whole thing. That was this huge deal, this huge scandal with him. And I don't know if he did it. I'm not going to say emphatically that he did do it. I don't know. I have no idea. Again, I did not pay attention to that because I don't care about cycle racing. So I just caught random bits and pieces. But apparently he was accused of it and there was proof of it. And yeah, that's the kind of thing that just happens because people want to win. And they will go to incredible lengths to win, even if they have to do various crazy things in order to hide the fact that they're using performance-enhancing drugs, whether or not they're using someone else's urine in the actual tests, drug tests and like that. There is actually the various athletes actually have to take a piss in a bottle in a little cup while there is someone standing there watching them as though urine is coming out of them. They actually have to do that. That's how bad it has become with the whole performance enhancing drugs, doping stuff, that they actually have to do that. I mean, that's been true for a while, but people get very creative when it comes to that sort of thing. So they've been forced to kind of just make sure everyone is actually peeing in the cup. So, yeah. It's unfortunate that it's come to that kind of thing. It's unfortunate that it has happened in this way, but people just want to win, and there's huge pressure not only from the coaches, from everyone, but also from the governments of various countries that their competitors, that their athletes just need to win, and the pressure to bring home the gold, or at least a medal in general, is very real. So there are people willing to take the risk, willing to try anything just to win. And yeah, I don't know if the accusation against the Russian competitors were true. I'm not going to make a statement about that. I don't know. Maybe it was just political stuff. Maybe it was true. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? Uh, I don't really know. That's basically all I really know about the Olympics. Like I said, I haven't really been following it very much. Though I do wonder. I did have a thought about whether or not at some point there would be a push for like esports Olympics, whether they like their own separate kind of Olympic games filled with esports, kind of Dota-esque, League of Legends kind of thing, or they would try at some point. I guarantee you, there was someone who is going to try and push that at some point, where you're going to have someone trying to push League of Legends as an Olympic sport. I mean, just look at all the various Olympic sports they've had over the years. I mean, some are still there. Some have been there since the beginning, like sports shooting or track and field stuff. But others kind of get pushed in out of nowhere. I mean, Olympic volleyball. I mean, just beach volleyball is an Olympic sport. And I have to wonder when did that actually happen? I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just seems odd to me. I can understand stuff like track and field, I like racing or hurdling or competitive swimming and stuff like that, but when did beach volleyball become an Olympic sport? When did curling become an Olympic sport? That is literally one of those things that, how many countries actually play a game of curling? And if you don't know what curling is, it's basically where you take this large rock that's heavily polished and you slide it across a frozen ice field, and you use a broom to sweep in front of it to kind of guide its path or slow it down or speed it up. And when did that become an Olympic sport? Who the hell invented that? It's like some weird drunken game someone would invent, and I don't know why. I just find the idea that curling is an Olympic sport very odd, and it makes me think that at some point there will be a push to kind of make esports a part of the Olympic Games. I mean, yeah, it would be a hard push to make, primarily due to the fact that esports kind of change at a much faster rate than like traditional sports games do. I mean, 4 years is a lifetime for a video game. So, yeah, a video game that's really good and really popular right now has a huge esport kind of competitive field. Right now, 4 years from now, it might be dead. So, it would be a hard push to make, but I guarantee you someone at some point will try and make it. And I'm going to laugh when that happens. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it for this week. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about the Olympics in Rio, mainly because it's been on the news. It's been everywhere on tons of news, on tons of channels, interrupting standard programming. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, I guess. So, yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. This has been another episode of Bobson Rants, incoherently about the Olympics. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.